Well, that's an interesting sound when you're out in the middle of nowhere. Back down the trail where I've just come from, there's a wolf howling down there somewhere. Can't hear him now. Just about 4 or 5 howls. There it is. Can you hear that? That's a good sound to hear when you're out in the middle of nowhere. Nope, we've got 2 of them. 1. Well, some good news. I haven't heard the wolves howling in about 5 minutes. There were several of them. I could hear them talking to each other. They howl to let each other know where they are. The problem is they can travel through this forest way faster than I can, and completely in silence. I can't. So as long as you let them know you're here, you don't tend to have too much trouble. I could hear them up on the ridge. There's a ridge just over here. I could hear them, and so I shouted a bit, and I haven't heard any howling since. So either way, right. So I'm back out at the bridge site that I built there the other week. Everything's still looking good. Nothing's fell down. Yeah, that's always good. Those are squirrels. Yeah. And more importantly, the bridge hasn't fallen in the water. Yeah. Oh, tell you what, so much nicer having the bridge across here than having to wade through the garbage, that's for sure. Yeah. Could have done with putting some bits in there. Really is a shame that there's no rock at this location. I have had a good scout around. I just had another scout up on the bank way back that way. There's some rock, but you'd be carrying it a long way. But this hasn't sunk in there as much as I thought it was going to, so we'll take that as a good sign. Yeah. And I will head off up the trail. My plan today was just to come out for a walk and just enjoy a walk, but didn't know I'd be sharing my trail with a wolf pack. Yeah. There's at least 2, maybe 3. It's hard to tell when you're in the mountains whether you're getting an echo off the other side, but there were definitely 2 because I could hear them talking to each other. So they let each other know where they are. Yeah. But I also do that to herd prey into an area, because the prey will hear them and then clutter off up what they think is a safe route, and the rest of the pack will just be waiting for them. Yeah. Very, very smart animals. But they're also smart enough to stay away from humans for the best part of it, so that's good. Right, so I've just come, the bridge is down through there. I didn't film this piece last time. You come up around the corner and you kind of do a little ziggy on you, and then you start heading up the trail. But this piece that I'm heading up now, this is the bit that takes you all the way up the mountain to Boundary Peak. So I'm enjoying my walk, I can tell you. I light packed it today, although I do still have everything I need for an overnight should I need to. Yeah. Extra layers, tarps, food, water, all that kind of good stuff, because you never know. Oh, you can hear a helicopter up over that way. Interesting. It's early for them. Sun has only just come up. There was some sun on the mountains just now, but it's very cloudy up in here. Look at it. I thought it's supposed to be a blue sky day today, or bluish. I guess it is blue above the clouds, but this side of the clouds not so good. This is the piece down here that always bothers me, because this piece across here, there's another big hill literally just there, and it's only 150, 200 feet wide tops, and it's a major meeting point between two valleys, so any wildlife that's coming up through here is coming that way. So it will make some noise as I progress up the ridge, but I should be good now. Gonna head up that way. Well, here's my marker. This is as far as I got with the Alder the other week. I was exhausted by the time I got here. Today, yeah, I'm a little puffed out because I've just come up a hill. However, look at that, sun's up now. Haven't heard the wolves for about an hour, so that's good. They're off down that way somewhere. Yeah. Once they know there's humans around, they tend to bucker off. So, right, so I'm going to head up here. I started some of this with my nippers the other week, but it's so thick up in here. I'm just going to have to take the saw to them and give them a good haircut. Right, see what I can do. Well, I've emerged out the trees at the top, only to discover the cloud is still here. And I've got to go all the way up there yet. This bit's a little bit steeper, but it should flatten out here in a minute, and I should get some views, hopefully, depending on what the cloud's doing. Right, we're on a fair way up now, and if you look at that over there, it looks like a sheer cliff, but it's not, believe it or not. That is the route up the mountain. The mountain's behind, just about see it over there. That's the ridge line. That little clump of trees that you can see there, little tree island, if you're going up there, you go up through the forest and up the side of there. There is actually a pretty well worn trail up the side of there. It looks vertical, but it's not. There is a nice little rock band up here which has "Dave, stop for lunch" written on it, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Just going to grab a picture of the top of that mountain just in case the sun comes back and wipes it all out, the clouds. Right. Well, here I am, bit of bloody nowhere. Right, so if you was going up Boundary Peak, you'd cut up across there through those trees to the right of that little tree island, and then straight up onto the ridge, all the way along the ridge, and there's the peak up through there. You can see it poking out now. Am I going up there? No, I'm bloody well not. I am, however, going to find a nice flat rock up here somewhere with a view. Somebody put a can marker there. Well done. I thought that looked out of place. As I was coming up there, I could see this little pointy rock. So if you're coming up here, that's where you want to come up, just up through the rocks there. And the way back down is down that valley over there. I'll show you that on the way back. Yeah. Well, I'll be. I need to find a nice flat rock. Why is there not a nice flat rock that says "Dave, please sit here" on it? That wind's got a bit of chill to it. I've got 3 layers on, and I can tell you now, I've still got a bit of chill. I've got an extra layer in my backpack, but I'm not going to go down there because that'll take me all the way down to like the what's the name valley, Kananaskis Valley, Highway 40 or whatever it is. That's down that way, many kilometres that way. Yeah, so I'm not going that way. So this is my lunch spot. This tree here looks mighty inviting. There's supposed to be a nice view from that hill up over there as well. Maybe I'll take a wander up to the top of that hill and just see if there's anything worth looking at up there. I don't know. If not, I'll come back and have lunch here. Since I'm here, might as well explore. Not been up that hill before. This is how you find places, eh? Yeah. Cool, look at that tree that's been blown down there. I wonder how old that is. Already been there forever. I can't see any people up on the ridge, and there quite often is, because it's a pretty popular hike. A lot of people come in from that end. They come up from the university site and then come up through this way. But yeah, I took the other way. Yeah, I'm going to head up the top of that hill over there and just see what I can see, if anything. So in answer to the question, can you see anything from the top of that little hill? No, you can't. That little hill's the other side of those trees. Yeah, and that's pretty sketchy in there. That is some very tall alder in there. There was a lot of shouting going on coming in there, I tell you. Right, so now I find myself at the top of another hill, and I can see another hill over there, and I think this will just be one of those repeating games where you follow the hill and you end up in the middle of bloody nowhere. So, not going to play that game. What I can see, that hill over there with a clear piece on the top, that I know is Hunchback Hills. That's the popular end of Hunchback Hills, that is. And I can see the corner, what I call grey shale corner, is up over there, and then you go up to the ridge. That's the big clearing piece at the top of Hunchback, over there where the flag used to be at the top there. Yeah, where I was the other weekend, actually I can see the hill. Right in the distance there's a clear piece, right in the distance there, right on top of the hill. There's a little clump of trees. I can see it. I don't know how well it will show up in the camera. It's right kind of there. It's hard to point because you're pointing in a different spot on the camera. Yeah, but there's a big clear patch that you can see over there, and I can see a little clump of trees on the top. That's where I was the other weekend in the last video there, where I went up the hill there. Lusk Hill number 5, I think that is. This clearing here is number 1, and then you can actually go all the way along that ridge. That's number 2 there. You can go all the way along that ridge. It's like a giant horseshoe, and it will bring you out at the far end there, which is a really good hike. And all up over there, that lot over that side, that's all Cox Hill. This takes you along Forget Me Not, or Powder Face Ridge, or whatever. No, yeah, Forget Me Not. No, Forget Me Not's over that way. Right, so that's Powder Face. Forget Me Not's way down the valley over that way. Yeah, so this is Powder Face Ridge up along the top of here. That goes into Cox Hill. Something over here making a noise. Hopefully it's a squirrel. Yeah. Where can we run short? Just make a lot of bloody noise. Yeah. Right. So where I'm heading is back around the other side of these trees, because I can see the peak over there. Belmore Brown is that one over there. So I'm going to head back over and find a better spot to have something to eat, and see what else I can find. I just keep seeing dragonflies. You wouldn't think there'd be so many dragonflies around this time of the year. Right, on I go. So the hill that kind of goes nowhere is this one. And guess where it goes? Nowhere. Whew. There's a steep bit of a climb up in there though. Get up. Oh, junipers. Nice. There's also a hawk flying around here, which is why the squirrels are going nuts. Yeah. Hawks don't miss a trick, mate. So from that little hill, we go and stand on the top of it. Right, so I conquered the peak of the little hill. Dun, dun, dun. There it is. Right. So I am stood on top of the peak of the little hill that you can't see anything from, unless you look backwards. Well, I can say, from up here, the view is really nice. There's a great view. I keep looking along the ridge. I'm surprised I haven't seen anybody up there. Really surprised. Yeah. I don't know if you can continue along that ridge and come down that way somewhere. Looks like it cliffs out at the end of there, but then there's another nice looking ridge that goes up that one. Now, if I had to guess, where's Baldy? Baldy's over that way. Yeah, okay. It's always weird when you look at a mountain from the side that you don't normally look at it from. Yeah. The cloud just ripping off the top of Boundary Peak up there. That's pretty cool. I'll tell you what, if you was up there at the moment, that would actually make a really cool picture. Yeah. Oh. If I was a little bit younger, I might be tempted to go up there, but it's pretty strong winds up here today. Very strong winds actually. It keeps picking up and getting really crazy windy. So I'm going to go and sit back down over by those rocks over there and have something to eat. Alternatively, I might just set this, actually that's not a bad idea. I might set this up on a time lapse, just burn through this one battery, sit here and have something to eat, because the view's not half bad over that way. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's Yamnuska, right down in the middle there, that's Yamnuska. Blink. So if that's Yamnuska, that ridge there must be the back end of Yates Mountain. So that's Barrier. So this one here, this is Baldy. This is the other end of Baldy. Yeah, has to be. Yeah. Oh well, right. So I will drop my pack, set my camera up here somewhere, and I'm just going to do a time lapse down through that way somewhere to use up a bit of the battery. Right, I'll do some more in a bit. Right, so lunch break is over. Not sure how much of a what's the name time lapse I got there, but I thought I'd leave it. The cloud was looking pretty cool. So yes, so in answer to the question, what can you see from the top of the little hill? Not a lot really. I can see the top of Hunchback Hill over there. I can see out towards the Trans-Canada, Yamnuska, back end of Baldy, Yates Mountains over that way. Can't remember what that one's called. Can't remember what that one's called. This is the ridge that goes up to Boundary Peak. The other side of over there is Belmore Brown, and my way down is back down through the forest this way. So I will head over to the gap in the little rock band there. And like if you're doing that hike, you go straight up that grass piece. That's very similar to going up like Mount Ware. It's the same kind of material. It go up that grass piece through the trees to the right of the little tree island, up onto the ridge, all the way up. Doesn't look very far from here, does it? But the last guy that I saw do a video that went up there is a guy called Matt, and he described it as steep, and he's a bit of a mountain goat, so if he thinks it's steep, I ain't going up there. I have enough trouble getting up this bit. Yeah, so yeah, that looks a little bit too much. It looks like a sheer wall from here, but it's when I watched his video, it's Matt's Hikes, I think. I'll put a link down the bottom there if I can find it on my computer there. And it he actually did this hike up there and along the top, and sat up on top of the hill there for a while. It yeah, he described it as steep, so yeah, in my terminology, that's vertical. Right, so I will head back over there and do some more in a bit. Yeah, the cloud has finally lifted off the top of Belmore. That mountain over there, if you look, there's a notch in the top of it. That's the notch at the top of Belmore. Yeah, and that's the first time the cloud has actually cleared off of there, and you can actually see it. So yeah, I didn't think it was supposed to be cloudy today. So I'm going to head back across to this rock band piece over here, and once I get there, I'll show you that nice cairn that somebody built. They made a really nice job of that. Right, and I'll show you the way back down. Right, on I go. Some rather cool rock formations there. Look at that. Wonder how old that is. I like looking at rocks like this. You quite often find all kinds of interesting things. Some of the algae that's growing on there. Some of the oldest algae on the planet. That orangey colour stuff. Some of those lichens and what have you. They are the oldest things on the planet, pretty much. Ooh, don't step on that one. There's a large rock and it moves. No, that was bad. Yes. Yeah, that was bad. Let's stand on that one. That one is really loose. Yep. Right, let me just scrimp up this little bit of the hill here. Where are we? Yeah, let's just head up here. There we go. Right. So, this is the nice little cairn that somebody built. Made a nice job of that, whoever that was. Thank you very much. Very nice. Right, so that's the route up to Boundary Peak. A lot of people actually come up that valley. There's an old fire road down the bottom, down by the university site where the old POW camp used to be. And they come in that way, but that's a long route. That really is a long route. So just to get to this point, and then you've got to head up there anyway and along the ridge. The other way, where this cairn is, if you just head down, just pick a gap down through here somewhere, you can see where people have walked down through. Roughly down through the trees over there, you'll find the top of the trail, 75 or 79, I can't remember now. I'll put it on the video when I get home. And that takes you all the way out to like Powderface Trail, the Lusk Connector, and what have you. That's down that way. So that's actually the shortest route, and I've been clearing that route out of there, clearing up all the deadfall and alder. I must have cleared 1 billion tons of alder on the way up here today. Literally 1 billion tons. I don't exaggerate. Okay, maybe it's slightly less than 1 billion tons, but it felt like 1 billion tons. So either way, that's the trails off down through there. There is a little bit of marker down through there. I can just see it in that small tree down there. There's a little bit of flagging tape. I will make that a little bit more obvious and go from there. Right, I'm going to head back down. One last look. I can still see the notch on Belmore. I can't see the top. I haven't completely seen the clear peak of Boundary since I got here. That's why I did the time lapse, in the vain hope that I might be able to actually see something. But right, so one last look around, and you're going to head down just through this gap here. You can head just down through this gap. This looks like where everybody walks down through. Yeah, down through the gap, down through there. I'm just going to cut a couple of these little bits off, and then down the valley, down over that way. Right, I'll show you some more of that when I get there. But first, gonna grab a picture of those nice rocks. Oh, isn't this that? That's a really nice shot. I like that. Yeah. Now, if this was a nice, bright, sunny day, that'd be a really nice picture. I wonder how old those rocks are. I mean, these layers that you see here. I'm on the top of a mountain. I'm probably about 4,000 or 5,000 feet above sea level. I don't know. I'm not sure how high it is up here. It's pretty high. And all of these layers, these were all mud layers on the bottom of an inland sea back in the dinosaur times and what have you. And now here they are on the top of a mountain. That's just layers of mud and crap from basically dinosaur times, yeah, when this was a sea, and now I'm stood on top of a mountain. Everything you see here, all of these mountains, were once on the bottom of an inland sea, a massive sea, which was basically where the whole of North America is now. The entire continent was an inland sea, and now here they are, all these mud layers on the top of a mountain. I can tell you now that wind's got a bit of a chill to it, so I'm going to shut up rabbiting. I'm going to get back down in the forest, because I can tell you now it's considerably warmer in the forest. Right, on I go. So just to show you what's what, up through the gap right on the horizon there, you can see the very well placed can there. Whoever put that there, that is actually spot on. Well done. That's brilliant. Yeah, and then you just kind of come across there. Down here you'll see a very nice trail. Once you get to here, you can actually see the trail starting to develop, and it just wanders off into the trees, and you're going to go down there, and then there's a sharp 90, and it will take you all the way down that valley over there. Right, let's head down into the trees. It's a little warmer in the trees, not so much wind. Right, temperature difference is quite amazing. Get back into the forest. Right, so I'm back down that little piece. It's very well marked, and there's a really easy trail to follow. So a couple of hangers up above me there, and this is a sharp 90-degree corner in the trail. This is I will call this Matt's corner, because this I think is where he stopped for a rest. So I'm going to do a little bit of more order removal, deordification I'm going to call it. I think I just made that word up, deordification. Yeah, and then I'm going to head down there and hopefully remove some of this deadfall too, because there's quite a bit on this thing, and do what I can. Right, on I go. So to walk down through this trail from the top there, it's actually a very pleasant walk. It's a nice, reasonable grade downhill. But it is a little bit Alder magedon in places. So that's the idea of coming up here, to trim out some of this crap. But let's cut all these off on the way up here. Piles and piles and piles of it. God, yeah. Anyway, so we'll put this away, because there's a couple of bits of deadfall down here I want to get out of the way, and then I will carry on. Right, I've cleared out a whole bunch of small deadfall up there, and a couple of lots of small ones too. Yeah, could have done with my big saw. I only had my 2000 with me today. Almost back down by the creek. Cleared out a whole bunch of that small deadfall. That's good. Gets it off the trail. But now look, I'm down the bottom. Now I'm down the bottom of the hill. The sun comes out. There'd be a fantastic view from up there now. It'd be absolutely amazing. But here I am down the bottom of the hill. Always a way, isn't it? Yeah. Right, on I go. Right, here I am, back down the bottom. The sun is now well out. My bridge hasn't sunk, so that's good. Can't believe how different. I come across it this morning and it was all yucky, and I thought we were very much in for some rain, and now here we are. Yeah. Right, bridge is looking good. Very pleased with that. Right, I'm going to head back this way. So if you're heading back towards Powder Face or the Lusk Connector, once you come over the bridge, once you've come down the mountain over the bridge, you're going to come across the bridge and then turn right, which is down this way, down there. Right, so we're going to head down there, and a couple of small bits down here I need to tidy up, and then I can go across the swampy bit. That's always fun. Right, on I go. Well, I have stepped over this log, I don't know, 8-9 times recently. So I'm going to see if I can move it. Not sure if I can, because I've only got my little saw. But I'll see how I get on, and if I think I'm going to get stuck, I will leave it. And then I'll have to return with my big saw. But Let me give it a go, see what I can do. Right, on I go. Well, I guess that answers that question. Yep, I can cut that one. I don't like cutting them when they've got a root ball on them, because you never know what they're going to do. That one did pop up a little bit, as you can see. Cut the middle out over there. I had to cut it twice. Cut the middle out. I'm not cutting this bottom one. This one is hard as concrete. This one, that's only about a 6-inch log. Ain't going to weigh too much about that. However, that one on the bottom there is as hard as concrete, and it's on the ground. Extremely hard for me to cut, so not going to bother. It's way easier to step over that now. The Silky 2000 really does do a good job. It really does. Yeah. Yes, that's why it's always in my pack. Never leave home without it. Actually, I do. For Matt in the mountains, I always have it with me. That thing's an absolute godsend. If you haven't got one, get one, because I can tell you now, it is insane. Yeah, absolutely insane. I've cut some seriously big trees with that thing. Right, my way back is that way. So I need to put this away. I'm going to have a drink of water, I think. That pretty much wore me out. Yeah, that's that one cut off. Chunk is down there. Not going to cut the one there, because that's very easy to step over. But these two, one on top of each other, was a real pain to step over. But much easier now. So, right, have a drink of water and on I go. Oh, back across Swamp Magedon. Every time I come across there, I pretty much come a different way. There's no dry way. There's least wet ways. Let's put it that way. But then you come to this really nice walk through the forest, and it's a shame that this is only a few, I don't know, 100 feet, 150 feet long. Yeah, it'd be nice if it was like this all the way across, I can tell you. Right, on I go. There's something I missed. I don't know if that was even up the tree. There used to be a lot of horses come up through here, because there was a horse camp up in here and whatever. But I've been through here for the last few weeks, and normally I spot stuff like that. But that horse threw that shoe, because it's still got all the nails in it, and it's bent. Yep. But that led to some interesting ride back, I should think. Yeah. So years and years ago, this whole trail all along here was all full of like horse ruts. You know, where the horses walk all in the same footstep, and it was just full of ruts. It was a bit of a pain, especially going down the hill. But all those ruts are gone now. Yeah, they're gone. It shows you when the horses and that aren't up in here. The trail goes back to being flat eventually. Look at that. I'd never noticed that before. And I've walked past here probably, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 times recently. But yeah, didn't notice that. So, things you find, eh? Right, I found lots of trees that are everywhere. I must have cut off this trail from here to the top, I guess 40 or 50 trees. Some of them are small ones like this one. This was only a little one, and some of them are considerably bigger. But, yeah, but that's what I do. I cut a few out and then continue on my way, and the next time I come up I cut a few more out. But this is a trail now that I've gone as far as I need to go with it, so I'm not sure when I'll come back up this one. I hadn't been up here for probably 8, 9, 10 years prior to this. And it looked like it too, because every time I walk a trail, I wish everybody did this, every time I walk a trail I have my little nippers with me, or have my little saw with me, and I just cut off bits. So this is just a little one. See, it's just a little one. It was across the trail. Cut it off. It's out the way. Because you'd be surprised, people that walk around that, and what you end up with is a braided trail that goes all over the bloody show. Yeah, just because it's got a couple of small bits on it. So yeah, I like to trim them up. And my theory is with the alder is everybody cuts a little bit off, same as a willow on the trail. It did not make a difference. It really does. But yeah, but this is what I do. This is believe it or not, I actually enjoy doing this. This is what I do. I've been doing this, clearing up trails and that around here for probably 30 odd years now. Nearly, yeah. When was it? 95. Yeah, so 30 years. Good grief. Yeah. Cut this one out here the other week. That was a hard tree to cut. It wasn't overly round, but it was bloody hard wood. Like really hard. So yeah, cut that one out. So I've probably cut 40-50 trees off of this trail. Small ones, big ones. And now I'm heading back that way. Right, on I go. Yeah, some of the trees I cut off the trail are quite small. Some of them are quite big. This one was quite big. This was a hard tree too. This when the trees have been down for a while, I counted the rings on this. This tree's over 100 years old. Look at that. So much bigger than my hand. It's over 100 years old. That one that had the root ball on it earlier on, up the thing, that was about 100 years old too. Yeah. I did count these rings. I blew it up on the computer at home and counted them. There's over 100 rings there. Yeah. Yeah, some of the trees are a bit bigger. That log had been down. It's very hard wood, that is. Make great firewood. But the bucket carrying it, I tell you. Yeah, so some of the trees are quite small. Some of them are quite big. But this is what I do. I'll set out and trim up a bit and cut a few and trim up a few more and so on and so on and so on. And eventually the trail gets good. I did trail 19 up to Link Creek and all the way out to the Ware Creek PRA. It took me 2 years to cut out all that lot. 2 years I was up in there, and countless weekends. I can't remember how many weekends it took me, but I cut 250 trees out of there. Yeah, I set myself a goal of 100, and once I got in there I realised how bad it was, so I set myself a goal of 200, and then I ended up doing 250 trees. Again, some big, some small. Yeah, one of them in there was about 12 inches through. That was a big bloody tree, that was. But I don't like cutting big trees like that. Yeah, most of them are smaller. But slowly catch your monkey, eh? Yeah, it gets it done. Yeah, it's like this one. That was the old bypass trail. There's people walk around this tree for Christ knows how long. But all it takes is somebody to actually cut a hole for it. And hey presto, trail's right there. Keeps it on trail, stops it braiding all over the bloody show. Right, I'm going to head back that way because there's a bit more alder here I need to clear up, or willow, sorry. Just clear up some of this and head on my way. Sometimes you just have to stop and look for a bit, eh? Isn't that a nice sound? I'll take that. Yeah. Well, this trail's almost at the end. So I think I might call that the end of the video right there. I'm going to sit and listen to that for a while. And I've only got about another kilometre and a bit to go to get back to where I'm parked. So, yeah, I'm going to sit and listen to that for a while. Right, thanks for coming along. Loads more crap cleared off the trail. And yeah. This is what I do on the weekends for fun. Yeah. Right. Catch you on the next one.